Hello Group 1, welcome to reading. First, let's look at what you are naturally here to create and leave behind in this lifetime. We have the Knight of Wands, Hangman. We also have the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. My immediate impression is that you are born to overturn collective perceptions. Your guiding image is a glowing book, and the three cards explain that image perfectly. On the surface, the energy you give out feels passionate, lively, and magnetic. You may stand out physically, or you may naturally know how to showcase your strength without trying too hard. Like that glowing book, you carry a kind of attraction that sparks intense curiosity in others. People want to open you, to understand you, to see what's inside. But once they step into the world you have created, they are often deeply shaken, because who you truly are is completely different from who they thought you were. It's as if your perspective stands in direct opposition to theirs, and yet, within your world, everything makes perfect sense. Through you, others come to realize things they would never consciously notice before. It's as though parts of their subconscious are projected outward through your lens. You are like a dream thief, subtle, observant, highly sensitive, and almost imperceptible. In quiet moments, you catch emotional reactions, hidden desires, and unspoken truth that even they themselves weren't aware of. On a material level, this can show up through your creations. Your work shapes a wild, unconventional world through a gentle, refined aesthetic. Another expression is that people who have formed emotional bonds with you tend to remember you for a very long time. You are a rare presence, carrying a kind of unconventional tension. Time spent with you feels both refreshing and intoxicating, natural yet filled with friction. You challenge others' perceptions and bring awareness to the parts of themselves they've been resisting seeing. Next, let's look at how you are currently building your legacy. We have the King of Wands and the Six of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, we have Four of Coins. So you don't just have passion, you take action. You build platforms for your passion, find outlets, and create mediums through which it can be expressed. And this isn't reckless movement. You have a clear vision, strong belief, and a deep understanding of pacing. You know that energy must burn consistently, not be exhausted all at once. And because of this, you naturally earn trust. You don't need to persuade, organize aggressively, or prove yourself. You naturally stand at the center of a group. Your vision is no longer just personal, and your success is no longer only your own. It becomes collective vision and a collective victory. So even when you don't actively seek recognition, it comes to you. You receive applause, support, and appreciation because others want to see you succeed. Your success becomes proof that they, too, can believe in themselves. In a material world, this can look like publishing your work or being recognized publicly through your creations. Even though both cards are wands, there's a strong sense of stability here, and a Four of Coins shows that no matter how exciting or noisy the external world becomes, you always return to yourself. You know how to protect and manage your resources wisely. You understand that safeguarding your energy is the foundation of all creation. As mentioned earlier, you shape a wild world through gentle actions, and you are the gatekeeper of that world. And if your work exists in digital forms, I see you setting up systems of encryption or protection around it. Now let's look at how your legacy impacts others. We have the High Priestess in reverse and Nine of Coins. We also have Two of Wands underneath. You are a revealer of hidden agendas, a transmitter of abundance, and a holder of truth. People are influenced by you subtly, often without realizing it. You are not trying to convince anyone, nor are you denying anything. You simply operate according to your own internal logic. And yet, your existence stimulates others to look deeper, especially toward things they would resisted or avoided acknowledging. As mentioned before, you overturn perceptions. Through your lenses, others may come to see that reality itself can feel insane. That security sometimes requires living with risk. That value may demand the sacrifice of self-respect, and that certain achievements they once took pride in are actually carefully designed, sustainable traps. These realizations can be confronting, not because your perspective is negative, but because it strips away illusions. You may come once struggled with yourself, but eventually you come to understand that truth is simply another form of illusion. I see you breaking through layers of reality, rooting yourself from within, even in spaces with no apparent ground. What you're creating is real. You're demonstrating an independent, self-sustaining process of growth, without slogans, without performance, without needing to be understood or admired. You are healthy, and your relationship with the external world is healthy too. Your impact is profound, though you disrupt perception. Your goal is not destruction, it's expansion. Your personal journey inspires others to dare more, to act more boldly, and to understand that surrendering to fate isn't passive submission, but a way to see more possibilities and make healthier decisions. And finally, let's look at guidance from your higher self. We have Ten of Swords in reverse, and the Seven of Cups in reverse. At the bottom of the deck, we have possibility. In the traditional tarot, this is Temperance. Okay, your higher self wants you to move beyond past wounds. The worst has already happened, and if you choose, it no longer has power over you. Sometimes pain creates a subtle sense of safety because emotions have something to cling to. But the cost is energy depletion, where all effort is cancelled out. When you move beyond insecurity, allow temporary imbalance, and trust yourself, energy consumption transforms into energy release. The result can look intense, even frightening, but it feels relief. Your higher self also asks you to make decisions that reflect your true self, not just the choices that looked impressive. Confusion usually appears when you drift away from your core. So instead of overanalyzing situations, return to your center first. Once the core is stable, the path becomes clear on its own. You are also entering a phase where multiple groups or circles appear in your life. If you previously struggled with people-pleasing or an unstable core, these experiences will teach you how to become a true coordinator. You don't need to belong to any single group to earn trust. You can balance multiple power centers because your core is steady. Your mind is clear and your stance is neutral. You can remain independent of all groups. Your oracle card is Grand Trine, Blessing. This card carries the same tarot energy as Temperance. The Grand Trine represents rare and beautiful balance. The 120-degree angles correspond to Leo and Sagittarius energy, suggesting strong luck in promotion, creativity, and expansion. If you've experienced stagnation or resistance before, this card confirms that you've entered a smooth flow cycle. Relationships, public image, and creative or professional pursuits will become increasingly effortless. You are encouraged to boldly put your ideas into practice and move lightly with the current of abundance. This is a beautiful and dynamic blessing, wishing everyone who chooses Pile 1 all the very best. I'll see you next time. Hello Group 2, welcome to your reading. First, let's look at what you are naturally here to create and leave behind in this lifetime. You have the Lovers and the Sun in reverse. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. Okay, my immediate feeling is that you were born to bring a deep, steady, and quietly powerful love into this world. Your love has been shaped through lived experience. It carries layers, depth, and continual refinement. This isn't just a physical closeness or surface-level attraction. It's not only about understanding, tolerance, support, or protection. Your love is dense yet pure energy, one that may fade into the background at times, but when it's truly needed, it shows up strongly and makes people feel safe. This energy feels very much like your guiding image, a lantern that dispels unease. A lantern doesn't exist for bright, sunny days. Its light doesn't stand out when everything is already illuminated. It exists for the dark, and its flame remains constant. Those who need it will always find it. Many people come and go in your life, yet I see you consistently meeting them with the purest intention. Whether they stay or leave, every connection deepens your understanding of love. Your love is sincere, never performative, warm but never exaggerated. Through interacting with you, others learn that love doesn't need constant interaction to be real. It doesn't have to be joyful at every moment. It doesn't need intensity or closeness at all times to prove its existence. Your presence teaches that during challenging times, honesty and reliability matter far more than surface peace or false harmony. You are genuinely mature and deeply trustworthy. People naturally feel safe being their true selves around you because you relate to others without judgment. This creates a powerful sense of emotional security. As your loved experience grows, you also come to understand the importance of boundaries and discipline. In relationships, these aren't about control or power. They exist to protect both your heart and others, allowing relationships to evolve in a healthy way. Your legacy in the material world manifests through human connection. Everyone who has crossed paths with you receives a form of loving energy and carries it forward into their own lives. Within this power, I see many counselors, social workers, therapists, and healers. Next, let's look at how you are currently building this legacy. You have Death and the Three of Swords. We also have the Four of Wands as the underlying card. Wow, the healer energy we just mentioned is immediately confirmed. I see that you're building your legacy through self-transformation. This process may belong to your past, or it may be something you are experiencing right now. Whether you are helping others or yourself, your current priority isn't about creating more positive, happy, or pleasurable experiences. Instead, it's about facing pain directly and releasing it. I know that pleasant experiences can increase our sense of happiness and helps us endure transformation. But pleasure and pain operate on different frequencies. Energetically, they don't cancel each other out. The only way to truly end a painful cycle is to confront it and let it go. This is extremely challenging work, but it ensures that the same patterns won't repeat. And something almost magical happens when old pain cycles are broken. Joy, beauty, and positive experiences begin to arise naturally, without effort, and stay. This happens because the space once occupied by heartache has been cleared. And this path requires facing fear and moving beyond ego's need for temporary satisfaction. Ego-driven fulfillment can be deceptive. It convinces us that we would succeed, that we were being rewarded. But once the pleasure fades, deeper pain often follows, along with the collapsing of our belief that true happiness is impossible. A simple example is someone who was abundant because of appearance or money. When they finally meet those external standards, they often attract the same shallow relationships, meaning the pain cycle wasn't broken at all. This leads to deeper self-doubt and a belief that true emotional connection may be unattainable. Though relationships are the easiest example, this pattern can appear in many areas of life, sometimes in much more complex forms. These cards also suggest that some of you may have experienced near-death situations or serious threats to your life. These experiences have given you a profound understanding of how your life force is rebuilt after devastation. Now let's look at how your legacy impacts others. We have the Five of Swords and forgiveness. In traditional tarot, this is judgment. We also have Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck. The ego lesson of the Five of Swords doesn't need much explanation. It's easy to understand but difficult to accept. In traditional tarot, the figure wins, yet everyone else walks away. But in this deck, the companions remain. Whether or not you identify as a healer, you carry healing energy naturally. You can see beyond ego's surface narrative and reach the core of the issue. Your presence shows others what a truly healthy relationship looks like. You don't feed another person's ego. You don't deny them, and you don't judge them. You simply hold a respectful distance, offer silent blessings, and trust that they are capable of facing their own lessons. And if they ask for help, you are there for them. And unlike traditional judgment, where individuals must revisit unfinished lessons, here the final judgment is forgiveness. In your personal life, this was a conscious choice. You choose to let go and stop clinging to pain. In your social life, you help others make the same decision and support them in following through. We often imagine rebirth as returning stronger, more powerful, and more dominant. But your version of rebirth teaches that because you were shattered, you choose love even more deliberately. Like your guiding image, you often appear in moments filled with despair. Your presence alone helps people understand that liberation begins when we stop attacking ourselves. Everyone can light their own inner flame and offer warmth to themselves. Those who are loved by you don't suddenly live in endless daylight. Instead, they stop fearing the dark. They're no longer consumed by negative emotions or put apart by external chaos. They learn to navigate relationships in a healthier, more grounded way. And finally, let's look at guidance from your higher self. We have the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Swords. We also have Eight of Coins at the bottom of the deck. The message is direct. Whatever you feel called to, pursue it bravely. Don't overanalyze. Take clear, decisive action and ground your passion in reality. The Eight of Pentacles shows that this is a long-term path. What you want to build requires consistency and ongoing dedication. Continue investing steadily in what lights you up. The oracle card here is First House, the body. First, this card suggests improving health and physical vitality. Your posture, presence, and overall appearance become stronger and more aligned. Second, it indicates a growing willingness to be seen, greater confidence and self-expression. And because of this confidence, others are naturally drawn to your energy. They feel vitality around you and are more inclined to support and follow you. Finally, you may step into a leadership role, taking on greater responsibility or standing firmly for certain values. I absolutely love the warm, healing energy of this spread. Blessings to everyone who chose Pile 2, and I'll see you next time. Hello Group 3, welcome to your reading. First, let's look at what you are naturally here to create and leave behind in this lifetime. You have Five of Wands and an Emerald. We also have the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. My immediate feeling is that you are born as a guardian of peace, a natural mediator. In some ways, this message is slightly similar to a previous group, as both involve balancing multiple forces. However, while the previous group stands independently from different sides, your role is to organize those forces, to bring them together and unite them around a shared goal. I see you often appear in environments filled with tension and noise. This doesn't mean the people involved have bad intentions, and simply that each individual is highly unique. When people haven't yet integrated themselves or they aren't effectively organized, chaos naturally emerges. But here's the magic. Difference creates chemistry, and the chaos can give birth to surprise. You carry the energy of a leader within a group. You are someone who clarifies goals, sets boundaries, establishes rules, defines roles, and resolves misunderstandings before they escalate. Your leadership isn't about overpowering others to fit in the ego. It comes from seeing a bigger vision and truly believing that a collective strength can turn miracles into reality. On a personal level, I sense that you have gone through or are currently going through a transformation from disorder into order. This may show up in your daily routines, emotional expression, or life planning. I see you actively rewriting your personal history and sharing what you learned along the way. Consciously or unconsciously, you help others move from chaos into clarity. In the material world, you may be an expert in a specific field, such as finance, psychology, nutrition, or another area where you directly step into someone's life to help rebuild structure. Or you influence others indirectly through social roles as a parent, partner, friend, mentor, or leader, guiding them through their own transformation from disorder to order. You are deeply respected and highly trustworthy. You offer others a rare sense of safety, a space where they can freely and equally share their thoughts and inner conflicts without fear of judgment. You give people room to be themselves and patiently walk beside them as they grow beyond their limitations. Your guiding symbol is an hourglass. In my understanding, an hourglass doesn't simply record time passing, it records mission. And your sense of purpose is revealed through countless subtle actions in your daily life. Next, let's look at how you are building your legacy right now. You have the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Coins. We also have the Justice at the bottom of the deck. I see that you place great importance on patterns, systems, and laws of operation, both in the external world and within yourself. Order doesn't mean rigidity. What truly matters is understanding these patterns and learning how to work with them. It's like living in a place where the climate is always warm versus living somewhere with 4 distinct seasons. You observe the rhythm of your environment and of yourself, then adjust your plans, actions, and expectations accordingly. Once you understand these patterns, resistance naturally dissolves. You no longer try to force greenery in the middle of winter. Instead, you appreciate the beauty of the season you are in. When opportunities arrive, you act without hesitation. Your luck no longer depends on coincidence. What appears accidental is in truth well-timed and inevitable. Every gain you experience is not only material, it becomes wisdom and long-term inheritance. While some people hoard their success, you carry a strong moral compass and a deep sense of responsibility. To you, receiving is meant for giving back. You offer help fairly, and fairness doesn't mean everyone receives the same thing, but that everyone receives what they truly need. Your accumulated wealth, much like the hourglass, exists as grains of sand. Once the hourglass is turned, your wisdom begins flowing, accompanying others through their own transformations. And this mission isn't one time only. It can be activated again and again, perhaps endlessly. Now let's look at how your legacy impacts others. We have King of Coins and the Seven of Coins. We also have the Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Wow, these cards perfectly reflect the image of the hourglass. If the arbor in the lower chambers represent the spiritual and material worlds, then the flowing sand symbolizes the transformation of spiritual wealth into material abundance. No matter how fast or slow someone progresses in the material world, the cards clearly show that abundance is inevitable. You may personally worry about falling behind, or perhaps people around you are impatient, controlling, or discouraged due to temporary stagnation. These cards strongly emphasize that attitude shapes experience. You help others re-evaluate their values in terms of long-term thinking, responsibility, structure, tradition, patience, and respect for process. If you work as a consultant or professional guide, you help people shift their thinking from, will I get this result, to what truly aligns with my values and what systems and disciplines can support lasting abundance. Finally, let's look at guidance from your higher self. We have the will and also the wisdom, which correspond to the Hierophant. At the bottom of the deck, we have King of Cups. No matter your physical age, this spread carries the presence of an elder, the energy of wisdom passed down through time. To put it bluntly, you truly become more valuable as you grow older. Your higher self once again highlights the importance of patterns, this time spiritual patterns. Joyful experiences bring spiritual insight. Painful experiences bring spiritual insight. Even stillness carries wisdom. You move in harmony with the rhythm of each life phase, and every experience pushes you toward a more involved version of yourself. At every major turning point, guides appear, and in time, you become a guide for others, passing gratitude forward. Your greatest kindness isn't found in understanding others, but in offering care and affirmation even when you don't fully understand. You respond without reacting. Your oracle card is Solar Eclipse, Revolution. When the sun and the moon align and the hidden shadows are brought forward, life introduces changes that expose what we suppressed or avoided. At first, this can feel deeply uncomfortable, both externally and internally. But combined with the King of Cups, this message is clear. The greatest compassion you can offer yourself and others is not forcing understanding, but offering care and validation first. Change doesn't deny the past. It integrates what was fragmented, scattered, or broken. You help yourself and others realize that nothing was truly lost. It simply reappears in a new form, within a better version of life, transforming chaos into order. I truly love the energy of this spread, mature, grounded, and deeply wise. Blessings to everyone who chose Part 3, and I'll see you next time.